What you need to do is set your shutter speed at a slower shutter speed than you typically would. Now, as a sports photographer, I'll typically shoot 1/1000th of a second or faster when shooting human action. But once I get bored or I want to experiment with the advanced technique of this cool blur, to give it a feeling of motion or excitement or energy that's different than looking at a still frozen image, I'll go ahead and set my settings to a slow shutter speed, something like 1/15th of a second, maybe 1/8th of a second for shooting human moving action like runners or walkers or bikers. Now, if I'm shooting something that's faster, like a race car that's going maybe 100 and some miles an hour, you might go to a faster shutter speed than that. But you can experiment with that shutter speed. I've looked about 1/15th to 1/30th of a second is about where I like to be. So shooting at, say, 1/15th of a second, the key is you take your frame, whether you're shooting vertical or horizontal, and you're following the subject. The subject's coming through, you're following the subject, you press the shutter, and you keep on moving the camera during the exposure. So you're putting it in, click, click, and you're trying to track the subject. So what your goal is to make it so the subject is in the same position at all times as the camera moves. So the subject itself is not changing in the frame. Maybe its limbs are moving, its torso is staying steady, the head is staying pretty steady, and the person is being crisp and sharp while the rest of it has blur. Intentional blur. Blur with a purpose to give that feeling of energy, motion, sometimes maybe anxiety feel because there's intentional blur to the scene. Match the subject, keep it in the frame, pan and tilt. Continue, follow through. If you just click and stop, you're going to have that blur stop. You need to continue to try to pan that subject. Sometimes you'll shoot dozens of pictures to get that one image. I've shot dozens of sports pictures to get that one in the way I like it. So it takes practice, takes a little bit of use, but over time that panning technique will give you some great results once you're bored with the ho-hum frozen action pictures. Thanks for watching. Better pics in just a few clicks. To see more videos just like this one, click the subscribe button right down there. And you'll see more. We'll see you next time.